Why do you always fall for the bad guy? Not the one who texts back. Not the one who shows up. Not the one who is good for you. The other one. The one who looks at you like you're the most interesting thing in the room and then disappears for 3 days without explanation. The one your friends warned you about. The one you warned yourself about. And yet, here you are, again. So what is actually going on inside you? Because this is not weakness. This is not stupidity. This is not something wrong with you. It is one of the deepest patterns in the human brain. And once you understand it, everything starts to make sense. In 1945, psychologist Carl Jung discovered something that explains more about your love life than any advice ever could. He called it the shadow. The shadow is everything you were told to hide. Your anger, your desires, your need to be chosen without having to earn it. You pushed that part away a long time ago, but it never left. It just started looking for someone brave enough to live it out loud. And when the bad guy walks into the room, he is living everything that hidden part of you always wanted. He does not ask for permission. He does not say sorry for who he is. He does not pretend to be good for anyone. Here is something nobody ever tells you about attraction. Your brain cannot tell the difference between excitement and danger. They feel exactly the same inside your body. The racing heart, the feeling that something big is happening, the sense that this person matters. That is the same feeling whether you are excited or afraid. Your brain cannot tell which one it is. So when the bad guy keeps you guessing, when he might text back or might not, when he pulls you close and then pulls away, when you never know where you stand, your body reads that as a feeling it cannot ignore. And your brain mistakes that feeling for love. A psychologist named Dorothy Tennov studied this for years. She found that the biggest trigger for deep romantic obsession is not kindness, not consistency, not being treated well. It is hot and cold, close and then distant, present and then gone. Just enough, but never too much. The bad guy gives you just enough to keep you reaching. And a brain that is always reaching starts to believe that the reaching itself means something real. But here is where it goes even deeper. Psychologist Bowlby spent his life studying how our childhood shapes every relationship we have as adults. He found that children who grew up with love that was unpredictable, love that came and went, love you had to work for, love that could disappear without warning, those children grew up believing one thing without even knowing it. This is what love is supposed to feel like. So when a good person comes along, someone who texts back, shows up, and makes you feel safe, something inside you does not recognize it as love. It feels too easy, too calm, too simple. It feels like something is missing. Not because you do not deserve to be treated well, but because your brain is comparing it to the only version of love it ever learned. The bad guy does not feel exciting because he is exciting. He feels familiar. And your brain confuses familiar with safe, even when familiar is the most painful thing in the room. There is one more piece of this. The bad guy is not just a person. He is a story you tell yourself. When someone is distant, when he does not show much, when he keeps you at arm's length, your mind starts filling in the blanks. And what your mind creates is always better than the truth. You do not fall in love with who he is. You fall in love with who you decide he could be. The soft side hiding behind the coldness, the deep feelings behind the silence, the man that only you can reach, the version of him that exists only in the space between his messages. And here is the painful part. The moment he actually becomes available, the moment he starts showing up and being consistent, something in you loses interest. Because the story your mind built needed distance to survive. The moment the distance closes,
the story falls apart. Stop being angry at yourself. You did not fall for him because you were stupid. You fell for him because you wanted to be chosen. Because you wanted someone to really see you and decide you were worth staying for.
That is not weakness. That is one of the most beautiful things about you. You just gave it to the wrong person. Now, I need you to understand something about that feeling you had with him. That racing heart, that waiting, that checking your phone. That was not love. That was fear, dressed up to look like love. Real love does not feel like that. Real love feels like breathing out after holding your breath for too long. Real love feels like finally putting down something heavy you forgot you were carrying. Real love feels like someone picking you on a normal Tuesday, not because you were perfect, but because you were you. Real love feels like home, not a storm you keep running back into, hoping this time you will not get hurt. You have spent so long in the storm that you forgot what it feels like to stand somewhere dry. You deserve somewhere dry. The bad guy showed you how deeply you can feel. Now take that and give it somewhere it will actually grow. You are not a girl who always falls for the wrong one. You are a girl who is finally learning what she deserves. And that changes everything.